For those who are here, welcome. Southern California, love this time. Thanks. Yeah. With us having to do all our farm chores and then I'm waiting and doing Facebook afterwards, it has definitely changed the time. And I think it's only fair. You West Coast folks have had to get up at 5 a.m. for a lot of years. So it's still only 6:30 there, but hey. So after the Dog Gut Health Summit, I did not get to watch it because I was hosting the Cat Summit at the same time. And Michelle Allen sent me a private message afterwards, and she sent me a screenshot of one of the presentations, and it said that senior dogs needed to be fed cooked food, that they could not be fed raw food. And Michelle runs a senior dog hospice and sanctuary. They generally have 25 to 27 dogs on site. And some are fed cooked food, but many of them are fed raw food. And as you know, we are very partial to seniors, and we have had a ton of seniors, some 18 and 19-year-old dogs in our house. And we feed raw. That sometimes we'll feed cooked. But they've done very well with it, and we haven't seen problems. Now, from a Chinese medicine perspective, should we potentially be making some changes in the diets of the senior dogs? Maybe. Because from TCVM, food therapy, the earth system, which is the digestive system, they call it the spleen in the stomach. It's not the same as the traditional spleen that we think of. It's the digestive function. It does not like cold, and it does not like damp. So if you're feeding a thawed out frozen raw food or a raw food that you're taking out of the refrigerator and you are just feeding it to the dog that way, it's cold and it's damp. It's got a ton of moisture and it's cold. And what happens when we have damp and cold? Think about ice cubes. You take water, you put it in an ice cube tray, and then you put it in a freezer. What happens to the water? It goes from flowing and moving to a solid block. And so that is stagnation. So for a lot of these dogs that are being fed raw, if the raw food is being fed cold, it's cold and damp, and it is damaging the digestive process and is causing stagnation. So if you are a raw feeder, which I am all for raw feeding, that food has to be warmed up. It needs to be fed. Think about what they would eat if they were eating prey in the wild, which I have to laugh when I say that because my dogs couldn't take down a grasshopper. But think about what they would be eating. They would make a fresh kill, and they would be eating it warm. It would still be steaming, basically. So when we feed raw foods that are cold, then we are causing more damp and more stagnation, and that is damaging. So what we have seen with a lot of our seniors, we'll start to see changes in their appetite. So while they may have been eating a frozen, a thawed frozen raw that the way that we warm it up is we add really hot water to it and mix it up so that it's body temperature. But that's a lot of moisture. It's a lot of damp. And so we have found, like Stewie, he's yang deficient. He's in heart failure, in and out of heart failure. So he's got too much yin. He's got too much moisture. He does not like his food to be soupy. He can't deal with that extra moisture. So what we find with a lot of these dogs is that they will back off from eating the frozen raw. But if you switch them to a freeze-dried raw or a home-cooked, they're all about it again, and they will start eating. Now, even if you're making a home-cooked food, if you take a home-cooked food out of the refrigerator and feed it cold, you're damaging the digestive system. So this is why we harp a lot on warming up that food to room temperature, preferably body temperature. So room temperature would be 75 degrees. Body temperature for them is 100 degrees. I don't stick thermometers in my dog's food to see where it is, but I generally stick a finger in it to make sure I don't have it too hot or too cold. So particularly for the seniors, we don't want to slow down that digestive process. We don't want to cause stagnation. We don't want to make it more difficult for them. So sometimes they will back off if you're feeding raw, and they will want like the freeze-dried, which is more young, it's because it's been dried, or they might want a cooked food because they know what their body needs. So if they're backing off and they want a change, make simple changes for them, and usually they'll come back around. We find some old dogs that they've gotten so damp and so stagnant that they're actually begging for dry things like dry kibble. I don't recommend that we go to dry kibble, but sometimes I'll have older animals that, particularly animals in kidney failure, and they just refuse to eat anything other than dry kibble, which is absolutely the worst thing they could be eating. But they know that their body is too wet, that their body is too stagnant. So you need to modify based on what your animal is telling you they need. But the really important thing is, over the years, make sure that you're not feeding them cold, heavy, wet food that doesn't digest well. We don't want to be damaging that system. So I will say that Facebook is very glitchy this morning. Linda Gear, I think the dental drop, they are going to go ahead and run the promotion they're going to run through today because of Facebook and Instagram being down yesterday. And this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we are moving everything from the old warehouse to the new warehouse. We are very thankful. We have the carpenters, friends of ours, who have come to North Carolina to help us. It's going to be a very busy weekend. So if you're having a hard time getting through to us with messages, phone calls, whatever, that's why, because we're going to be a little busy. we're going to break our backs all weekend moving stuff, but then we'll be in our new warehouse, and that will be amazing and exciting, and all kinds of new things coming down the pipeline. Okay, everybody take care of your seniors, your puppies. Our puppy didn't want to eat this morning because he's ADD, and he's like, wait, there's something over there. Talk about seeing squirrels. He's like, whoa, there's a toy. Whoa, there's another dog. I'll get food down him sooner or later. Okay, freeze-dried gives your dogs urinary crystals, and it can, because there's not enough moisture. That's the difference. When you it's like taking kibble, taking a freeze-dried food, you add moisture, you're not going to get it back up to that level that it would have been before you took that moisture out. But sometimes your dogs are telling you that's what I need. So you just have to kind of listen to what they're doing, figure out how to handle that. Some of them, they'll back off from their high moisture raw. They'll want to do freeze-dried, which you still need to add water to. And then sometimes they'll flip back over. So you just got to play with them and listen to what they want. All right, let's see if I can get a little music. We are taking Bo out for an excursion for a couple of days with our friends. So we got to go pack and hit the road. And your 17-and-a-half-year-old loves his freeze-dried now with bone broth and gulp sit down. Used to love raw bone and meats, but just can't do it. Yeah, they change. So you have to listen to what they're telling you. All right, Gwen posted the dental drops. Getting lightly cooked when your dog has digestive issues, yeah. So sometimes they just do better with that. But we have fed a lot of our dogs the frozen raw for 18 years. And then we listen. If they're backing off, we'll try a different texture, different formulation. All right, everybody have a great day.